The value stages framework is something that Microsoft's been talking a lot about in the market recently. Really gives a good way to think about the journey that you go through, whatever business you're in, whether you're a large publicly traded financial services organization, a local retailer, a community fitness center, or a manufacturer. Across the spectrum, the five stages framework is appropriate and approachable in terms of how organizations can think about their journey to go through the stages. The first stage is all about exploring. It's about exploring what's possible, looking at other use cases, looking at success stories, and just explore what AI could look like for you and wrapping your head around that. The second stage is about planning. Now that you've explored a little bit, maybe you understand there's a part of your business, maybe it's in the call center, on the shop floor, in your front office, back office, marketing department. There's some part of AI that becomes attractive. Now you can plan on how might we take advantage of some of these new technologies in that area? How might we plan to do some sort of proof of concept? How might we then prove that thing works and assess that it had an impact? So there's a lot of this planning activity. What's your strategy? It could be small scale and experimental, or it could be like, we're really bought in. We think this is transformational. We're going to have more of a robust plan. That's stage two. Stage three is implementing, and all about taking a small piece of something and making it real, like a proof of concept that this could actually work. We can wire up the technology. People can use it. It's real for us. You don't scale it across the entire organization. That comes in the fourth stage, which is scaling, but it's just getting familiar with it. Once you understand and you can see it working, there's sort of two choices when you get to the fourth stage. There's this idea of scaling out. Or are there other similar use cases in your organization that could benefit from a similar type of approach? Or you can scale up. By that, we mean, do you go more in depth in solving that particular problem in a more robust way and applying AI more fully or to a greater degree in that area? This idea of scaling out to different similar problems or scaling up to solve a particular problem that you've implemented in a more complete, robust, fulsome way. And the fifth stage is about realizing those benefits, fine-tuning them, measuring them, being confident and sure of the business value that is creating. Again, if you think about these four stages, exploring, planning, implementing, scaling, and realizing, and you combine that with this idea that this is still a very new thing. What we're seeing is the vast majority of organizations are in the early stages. We have some of the latest research that Microsoft's put out is 16% are in the exploring phase, 23% are in the planning phase, and 36% are in the implementing phase. That's like 75% of organizations are in those first three phases. And it's only 25% that are getting into the scaling and the realizing. And not surprisingly, scaling and realizing is where all the actual measurable, tangible value is created. You got to always be very mindful of it's a lot of work, a lot of exploring, a lot of planning, a lot of implementing that happens. And you don't really get the full value of it until later. So like just keeping in mind that you do have to go through these stages. You have to be patient. You have to be persistent. And it's a bit of a journey. When you combine the newness of this technology, people seeking to understand it in general, and then more specifically on how it applies to their particular business and how they might use it to improve their customer experience, improve their operational efficiency, help their employees be better, more productive, more engaged, have better access to tools and approaches to help them do their job so they can then better serve their customers. Figuring all that out with this new tool set is the order of the day. And thinking about this value stages framework is a really great way of thinking about the journey that you're on.